So tonight, stealing. Under stealing, there are few more words. Not only stealing things directly, indirectly, such as smuggling and bluffing, swindling, cheating, all are included in the same category, no difference. The guilty conscience is the important thing, not the action. So if you can avoid or keep away from this act of stealing or bluffing others, you can enjoy your life and you can avoid so many shortcomings, disturbances, grievances and problems. Because actually we do not know, although we are innocent, sometimes we had to face so many unfortunate and very unpleasant experiences in our life. But we can understand we are innocent. But we do not know that what we have done during our previous birth. Because good and bad karmas follow us just like our own shadow. Chaya Anapayini, the Buddha says in Dhammapada. Chaya, shadow. The shadow never stops. Follow wherever we go. Whether rebirth takes place as humans or animals or devas or any other forms of living beings in this universe, karmas are behind. No one can keep away from karmas until that person attained the sainthood or arahanthood or Buddha. And then after that karmas cannot follow anymore. The first benefit or the good results that we can experience by observing this precept. The other day I have told you that there are three methods for us to observe this precept. Since some of them were not here on that day, I would like to repeat. Sampatta virati, samadhana virati, samucceda virati. Virati means abstain, keep away. By considering in three ways. Sampatta virati, thinking that we are human beings. We are more intelligent than other living beings. And we have a culture, we have a religion, and it is our duty to maintain our dignity, our name. Therefore it is unfair. It is not advisable for us to do such harmful or immoral or wicked things. By considering in this way, so we keep away from many evil deeds. Again, we maintain moral shame and moral fear. Then the second method is samadhana virati. By considering, analyzing the precept that we are observing. It is one of our principles in our religion. Others regard them as commandments given by the God. They observe thinking that the God may punish us if we violate some of these commandments. Are there commandments here? So, because of the fear of punishment, they keep away from evil deeds. But here, by realizing and analyzing and considering these are harmful, we are observing this precept or religious principle, therefore it is not advisable to violate or break the precept under any circumstances. Then, this is the second method. Many people are doing this. The third method is, after controlling, suppressing or eradicating our greed, selfishness, jealousy, anger and evil forces from our mind. Now the mind is very tamed, very obedient, very understanding, therefore not easy to influence, to violate our religious principles, and not easy to create temptation to commit immoral practices, and not easy to irritate or disturb the mind, to create or to perturb, to arouse anger in our mind. That is what we are doing through our precept, our knowledge, meditation. We try to train and tame this mind. After that, it is not necessary for us to struggle to abstain from bad things. At the moment when the temptations or irritation provoke or arouse our emotion or our craving, we have no courage to avoid our violent or aggressive or harmful or dangerous or cunning or selfish attitude. Very easily we can commit evil under the influence of those sources. But when once we train the mind, we can see there are very cultured, very religious-minded people in this world, and they know how to maintain their dignity and their principles. That is the outcome of a training. They have cultured their mind. So, easiest way, without struggling, when the temptations or irritations disturb the mind, to train this mind earlier. Now, the significance of observance of precept occasionally to train this mind. Then go further and further into deep meditation, then you calm the mind. By calming, and you reduce the tension and craze. After that, very easy to handle this mind. Now it is very difficult to deal with this mind, to control this mind. So the effect the good result that we experience by abstaining from stealing and bluffing and swindling and cheating, we will be able to lead a peaceful life in affluent society without facing any shortcoming, difficulties and less problems, and can enjoy life, then prosperity, happiness you can experience. In Mangala Sutta, the Buddha also mentioned Patirupa Desa Vasocha. You are blessed people if you can find out a place or a town or a village or a country where you can live peacefully without facing so many problems and shortcomings and difficulties. Again he says, Ubbecha Kata Punyata. You might have accumulated certain good karmas during your previous birth, life after life. Then you can enjoy your life in harmless way. We need some sort of enjoyment. Otherwise we go mad. Human mind is like that. There must be something for human emotion. But this human emotion must be entertained in harmless way or respectable way. So there are no restrictions in Buddhism that for you to enjoy, to gain some sort of pleasant experience, to entertain your emotion. But you should not violate your religious principles to entertain that. Remember that. So the first result that you can experience by abstaining from stealing is you will get the chance to lead your life peacefully in affluent society, to enjoy your life. There won't be any shortcoming. Second one, wealth, abundant, more than enough. You get more than enough wealth without working so hard. Now you can see, some people are working day and night like slaves. Even then, they won't get enough income to maintain or to support their families. But many others gain more than enough thing even without working. People say that is good luck. But they do not know how they got this good luck. Who gave this good luck? The good luck is a worldly word, not a religious word. Good luck means we have enough good karmas as treasures in our storehouse of consciousness. Good karma. So this good luck come out from that good karma, not from heaven or not from anywhere else. Next one, an unlimited supply of consumer good. Consumer for your daily usage. More than enough food, clothing and other requisite necessities you gain without any difficulties. Because many people won't get enough food, enough clothing, enough medicine, enough shelter, although they work so hard. But those who keep away from stealing can enjoy their life to gain all these things without any difficulties. Next one, fulfillment of every desire. So you have been longing, waiting, praying to gain many things, but you won't gain. You go and pray, and you work so hard. You think and plan and do something. Even then you won't gain what you need. Yam picchan labhati tampi dukkham. Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the first sermon, the Buddha says, Yam picchan labhati tampi dukkham. One of the dukkha, suffering. What is that? When we cannot gain what we need, that is one of the dukkha. So if you keep away from stealing, you can gain what you need without facing difficulties. So there won't be any disappointments. Not necessary to explain, these are very simple things. When you analyze, you can understand how you experience worries and sufferings and problems when you could not gain what you wanted. Some people need their own children. Married couple, but no issues, no children. That gives worries. And some girls want to get married, cannot find out a suitable partner. Some boys want to get married, and they come and say, so we do not know why girls don't like me. That means they won't gain what they need. Something is wrong somewhere. But some others say, so many people are waiting, I don't know what to do. And this is another problem. I think they have done more than enough good karmas, I think. Too much of goodness also very dangerous. When Mahatma Gandhi was shot dead in India, Bernard Shaw had said, it shows how dangerous it is to be too good. Gandhi tried to be too good. That is the outcome of it. He's a joker, Bernard Shaw. So, the next item is increase of wealth. You can earn, you can accumulate, but you do not know some sort of leakage somewhere, reducing. Very difficult for you to stop this leakage. Either people come and bluff you, or swindle you, or steal, or if not, fire, water, flood, thieves come and take away. If not, your own family members, or relatives, or friends, you cannot save. But those who abstain from stealing, they can multiply, they can increase their wealth, their houses, their lands, their money and jewelries. These are the worldly requisite. You need them, you like them. Next item is, you can gain things whatever you need or desire without waiting for a long time. Because some people have to wait for months or many years to gain what they need. But if you keep away from stealing, you can gain your needs, your necessities, your requisites without waiting for a long time. Security of wealth. Many people cannot protect, save. People come and take away. If not, the family members or husband or wife waste for unnecessary things. There are many families, either husband or wife, waste for unnecessary things. Some people waste their income either by gambling or drinking or doing certain other immoral practices. And some others waste their income due to their foolishness, ignorance, because they do not know how to protect. And people come and bluff them, swindle them. So we can avoid these disturbances or problems. Somehow or the other we get the knowledge and understanding or facilities to protect what we have earned. In Dīghajāna Sutra, the Buddha's advice, Ārakha Sampada, Utthāna Sampada, Kalyāna Mittata, Samajīvikata, 4 important qualities that you have to cultivate. Ārakha means protect. See, the religious teacher who has renounced the worldly life advises you, you must protect, guard what you have earned without wasting or without allowing to waste them. Protect them. To you, this will become a very useful material gain in time to come. To lead a worldly life, not to lead a religious life or spiritual way of life. If you are going to lead a worldly life, household life, you must protect. Utthāna Sampada. Utthāna means get up. Don't sleep too much. The Buddha also slept only 2 hours a day. So he advised you, Utthāna, get up. Get up means go out and do some work. Don't sleep too much. Do something to earn something. Then protect certain amount, certain percentage. Then he says, Kalyāna Mittata. Mitta means friends. Kalyāna means good. You must find out some good friends to associate. If your friends are cunning, selfish people, you had it. And they know how to swindle you, how to bluff you and mislead you. So good friends can guide you, protect you when you are in trouble. Friends are very important. Then, Samajīvikata. By considering your income, you have to adjust your expenditure. Balance. Income and expenditure. You have to consider very carefully. Don't spend too much without considering how much you can earn for a month. Otherwise you have to regret. Depend on others. You have to borrow from others. Then you lose your dignity. will be under obligations. You can avoid these disturbances if you can follow this advice. So to lead a worldly life, this is the way how the Buddha has given this advice. Protect what you have earned without wasting. Work hard without wasting your time to earn something. Find out suitable friends for you to associate. Then consider about your income and expenditure. So, here, without any difficulty, without facing disaster, you can maintain your property, your wealth, your income. Next one. Freedom from the enemies that constitute a threat to the security of your wealth. This is a very big problem. We have so many enemies. Not only human beings. White ant also our enemies. Rats and cockroaches also our enemies. Fire and water also our enemies. If we earn something in unrighteous way, illegal way, then the government become our enemies. Government can confiscate if you have adopted a wrong method for earning. Thieves come and take away your thing. They are our enemies. And some people believe that there are some spirits who come and steal valuable things. Very seldom we come across this kind of incident, but I have seen so far only one case. It's about 20 years ago. I think I have told you this story, this incident. In one family, it's not a Buddhist family. Only mother, the son and the daughter, 3 people are living in that house. And they noticed that there are money and valuable jewelries, item by item, every day missing. Whole night without sleeping they guard the house. Nobody enter into that house. But next day morning they found out something is missing. The way how they lose their money, they told me, there's a $1,000, say $50 note, 1,000. So one day one note, only one note missing. Next day another note. And jewelry is one piece of diamond or earrings or these rings or chain, only one item. So they have been praying and doing all sort of things according to their religion, no effect. They have approached Bomos and we call mediums, no effect. One day they came here and asked me whether I can help them. You see, we are not Buddhist, but somebody recommended, advised me to come and see you. He said that I can stop this. Then how come? I had no experience, I have never done this kind of thing. Who told you this? No, he told me, definitely I can do that. Then what is happening? Then he told me actually what is happening. And let us go and see. he took me to his house. It's in Udu Road, not very far away from the Chinese recreation club, not very far. He took me to that house. A small house, not a very big one. Then asked me to do something. I say, I cannot guarantee because I have never done this. But I'll try, no harm. Because I am not going to charge anything for my service. So I recited some sutras and sprinkled the water inside and outside the house. Although they were not Buddhists, I blessed them. They accepted, received my blessings respectfully. I came there. For 1 week, they did not come to see me. So after 1 week, they came and told me. For 1 week, we were watching very carefully. We did not lose anything. 1 week. So they maintained this for 1 year. After 1 year again, he came and told me that again started. So this time also I visited. I said, this time I must visit 3 times. So I visited this house for 3 times and did the blessing. Then occasionally I met them and they also visited here. They say now completely safe. Then they told me the secret. He told me he had been doing some business with his partner. His partner, business partner, belonged to another community or another religion. When they were prospering, they were doing very well, his partner separated and started the same business in the next door. Now very big competition is going on. Later he found out that this man's business is going down and dwindling. And the other man is prospering. Then he found out the other man has done something and communicated certain spirits to ruin his property. That is how he lost his money and jewelry. So every night, one spirit enter into his house and take away only one particular item. And he told me the key to the cupboard and the drawer, sometimes he keep under the carpet or outside, hide here and there. But next day morning, he found out the key is hanging in the cupboard. That is how he believed that it is an act of a spirit. Still, I do not know. To me, it is not very convincing to accept 100%. There must be something unknown, some sort of unknown forces. See, not only visible living beings, but invisible living beings also can steal or take away or destroy our property. So we can avoid all these disturbances if we keep away from stealing, if we are honest. Keep away from stealing means honesty. That's all. Next one, undisputed possessions of property. That is, possession with no one to object. This is a very big problem. When you hold a property, a land, a house, or factory, or business, or shop, there will be a lot of problem because some others come and claim. You may lose. So there is no guarantee that you can maintain your property forever. There are many people who have lost their land, their houses, their business because of this. So those who upheld this principle of keeping away from stealing can maintain their property without any disturbances or without any objection from any quarters. Very clear. High rank and leadership, wherever they go, wherever they stay, they become prominent figures, leaders, very easily can get promotion and people respect because of the power of the virtues that they observe. If there are people, deserving cases. Next one, peace and happiness. If there is no peace or happiness in our mind, whatever we have under the sun and the moon, our life is miserable. These two things are the most important things in our life. Actually, we are working day and night to gain some sort of happiness, to maintain peace, only for these two things. But how many people can enjoy or experience peace? How many people can gain happiness whole day and night? Lot of worries, miseries, disturbances, unhappiness, calamities, jealousy, enmity, uncertainty. But there are few in many parts of the world who can maintain their peace and happiness. So we can gain these two things if we can keep away from this act of stealing, or if we are honest or sincere. So when we study the human mentality, we can understand there are no other living beings, either devils or spirits or ghosts or animals or devas or brahmas in any part of the universe that honesty and sincerity, same, is a very, very weak in our human mind. Animals are more honest. A spirit and ghost are more honest. Devils also honest. Devas and Brahmas also honest. But human beings are not honest. Cunningness, selfishness. Very advanced, these two things. In everything, in every action, in every thought and word, you can find some sort of cunningness and selfishness. Human mind. The most unreliable living beings on this earth, not only on this earth, in this universe, are the human beings. Very unreliable. You can see this very easily. Husband and wife who lived together for nearly 40 to 50 years or 75 years together. But still, husband cannot trust wife, wife cannot trust husband. This is the nature of human. The reason is the development of the human mind or the brains or mind taken place with cunningness and selfishness. In other living beings you cannot find this development with cunningness and selfishness. Government try to train us to lead an honest life by punishing us. Still cannot train. Society try to train us by accusing, condemning, ridiculing us to know that we are wrong. Still cannot. Elders and parents try to train their young people by beating and threatening, scolding, still cannot. Religions try to train them by advising and threatening them, creating fear in their mind, saying there is an eternal hell for you to go and suffer forever if you do this. Even then, they don't care. And now you can understand the nature of human mind. Government also cannot train, society also cannot train, elders also cannot train, religion also cannot train, God also cannot train, and devil also cannot train. Then who is going to train this wonderful man? Modern science and technology are very, very advanced. But these things cannot contribute anything to train human mind. People become more cunning, more selfish, more dangerous because of the modern scientific discovery. They abuse, they misuse and create disaster by using modern technique. Whatever they discover, they misuse, they abuse. Let us take atoms. How they misuse to destroy the whole world, every living being, not to create fear, not to punish people, but make them to understand. Without creating this understanding in their mind, whatever we talk about heaven and hell and this and that, no effect. When understanding appears in our mind, then we know this is right, this is wrong, it is unfair for us to do this, or it is our duty to do this. True understanding. Now we can go to the next item. So we have completed stealing now. Third one is chastity. Kamesu vichcha. Third one is chastity. Kamesu vichchachara. Sexual misconduct. Illegal or unlawful sexual act, sexual pleasure people experience. So, in Buddhism, there is no restriction or there is no such precept or religious principle that people should not experience sexual pleasure. This I have mentioned very clearly in my book, Happy Married Life. But point out the danger of sexual misconduct. If they violate this, what will happen to them? Here there are 19 good results that you can enjoy if you can keep away from this. You can have your sexual pleasure in a reasonable way, justifiable way, decent way, without violating anything. That has nothing to do with religion. Here you violate the religious principle. Actually, these are universal principles, although we introduce as religious principles. The first thing, if you observe this, having no enemies. Some people do not know very easily their friends and relatives become their enemies. They do not know. Even without their knowledge, people become their enemies. Having heard something or some sort of misunderstanding, if not by neglecting certain responsibilities or duties, many people become enemies easily. So those who observe this principle can avoid this kind of unhealthy attitude. People won't get, they don't create enmity, can live peacefully. Of course, it is not necessary to die for a man after committing this to experience enemies. Immediately, the same day, the person can create enemies. When a married lady or married man and go out to another one, when the other person comes to know, immediately become enemy. No need to die to experience this. Next one, being in no danger of rebirth in the lower world. This is the language. You know what are the lower world? Unfortunate existence. There are four. Naraka, Tirachina, Preta, Asura. These are the unfortunate lower form of existence. A rebirth never takes place as animals or spirit or ghost, or the most miserable state where they suffer without any interval, which is called hell. The rebirth never takes place if they uphold this principle. Next one, being in no danger from any quarters, without fear. They can sleep, they can carry on their life without suspicion that there are enemies, thieves, gangsters, animals, snakes, devils, ghosts, can avoid these disturbances from various directions, can lead a peaceful life, because they get such a life for them to lead a peaceful life without creating such suspicion or fear. But many people are suffering from this problem. Next one, being able to do anything openly without any fear. Some people cannot do certain things openly. They have to go and hide somewhere. Not because it is bad for their security, suspicion. They maintain some sort of fear. Assume you got some money and you cannot keep this money with you without fear. Uncertainty is there. Somebody may come and take away, if not by force or by killing you, kidnapping you, take away your money. So you can live peacefully, you can maintain your things, your property without such fear. Circumstances pave the way for you to lead that type of life. Being able to speak fearlessly. People are scared to talk, thinking that people may get angry or attack or criticize or condemn, or they lose something, so they cannot talk frankly. Fear is there. It's not the natural, intrinsic fear in the mind. No guts, no courage to talk. Fear is there. So we can avoid this kind of fear. We uphold this principle. Being able to speak without depending on another person, because they have no confidence, no courage. They haven't got enough memory or knowledge, so they have to depend on others. After saying something, they have to ask, is it true? Because he is not sure. If not, what do you think about this? Is it right or wrong? But he has no confidence. But some others can talk like giants without asking whether it is right or wrong. Being loved by other people. Yes, there are some people loved by everybody, but this love is not a sexual or romantic love. Nothing to do with that. Loved by everybody. That means sympathetic feeling, harmony, cooperation, friendliness, goodwill, all the good qualities you can find in them towards that person. That is why I say loved by everybody. Nobody to hate this person. Nobody to disturb this person. This is called loved by everybody. There are some people like them not because they are very clever or very intelligent or very learned, but having seen certain good qualities and characteristics and cultured manner how they behave, loved by everybody. Not only human beings, even animals, cats and dogs also, when they behave in such a way, people like them very much. This is the most important thing. Those who keep away from this direct effect that they can experience, happy marriage. Happy married life is very, very rare nowadays. Today they get married, the registrar of marriage is here, he knows. Here in this temple also we heard. This week they get married, next week they come and say they want to divorce. Cannot agree. After this registration, do you know, those days, say during the time of the Buddha, there was no such system as registration. They never register their marriage in front of any leaders or political leaders or kings or rulers, or not even in front of religious teachers. There is no such system. They are mutual understanding. I like you, do you like me? Yes, okay. Then I am your husband, you are my wife. This remains forever as long as they live. No registration, no record. Of course some people say record in heaven, but today I think more record in hell, than heaven. The way how they lead their married life. The hell get more news. So, human behavior, immoral practices have become very common in the modern society all over the world. They ignore the most valuable human dignity that our forefathers have maintained in those days without violating all these things. And what they have done behind the curtain occasionally when they could not tolerate those days. But today we send invitation card, get together to perform publicly what our forefathers have done behind the curtain, knowing these things are wrong and immoral. This is the nature of modern society. This is called social, modern development. So married life is very, very uncertain. When the husband goes out, poor wife is worrying and worrying and worrying until he comes back. She does not know where he goes, with whom he goes out. Yes, it is happening everywhere. Again, husband who went out in the office or factory is thinking what is happening at home. The wife is alone. Whether she invited some other friends, also happening. This is the nature of married life today. They say this is modern, social. After that, fight, argue, quarrel, violence, bloodshed, divorce, separate, curse, accuse, blame, and go to hell. That's all. We can avoid all these problems if we can uphold this principle. And no enemies, no jealousy, nothing to hide, nothing to escape. How many times a day they have to tell lie? Oh, nothing, just friends, just come to talk. So these are the sweet words they use. Nothing, yes. Then having all the sense organs such as eyes, ears and all these things, this is another important thing. Now we have 5 senses. And many people cannot see properly, cannot hear, and teeth also cannot bite, and no taste. And no, without any reason they cannot enjoy taste. And nose also some sort of sicknesses and troubles and all sort of calamities. And no feeling, no sensation, and skin disease. Can avoid all these things. All the senses are very active, very normal and very useful. There are people who can use all the 5 senses up to the age of 80 or 90 without any glass. They can read book even at the age of 80 or 90. Hearing also they maintain without any disturbances. And all the senses and the minds are normal. So, perfect 5 senses they can maintain by upholding this principle, religious principle, keeping away from sexual misconduct. Next one. Essential attribute of the male and the female. Masculine and feminine qualities. Woman must behave like woman, not like man. It is very awkward if a woman is going to behave like a man. Man must behave like a man, but not like a woman. This is the difference between masculine and feminine qualities, negative, positive. These 2 things forever must remain as negative and positive, otherwise no fun. It is natural. But some ladies have no feminine qualities. People don't like her. Talk like a man, walk like a man, does things also like a man, and behavior, temperament, attitude, moods and everything. Again, some men behave like ladies. The way how they walk, how they talk, and so shy, go and hide, and all sort of things. These are the effects. Man has no guts to stand firmly, because the masculine qualities is for that purpose, not to go and hide. So those who avoid this get the perfect masculine and feminine qualities, very charming, attractive, beautiful features among the female, and very strong, very dynamic, very powerful, very pleasant male figure. Abstain from this. Again, never become eunuch. This is also another problem. In certain countries, I have heard, there are so many. They are very unfortunate. They have the sex urge. They like to have sexual pleasure, but unfortunate. Eunuch. This is also a direct effect of sexual misconduct. Because this sexual misconduct creates enormous sufferings and worries and disturbances among others. In a family, a married couple is living. Another man goes and interferes with the wife of that man. And the way how that man had to suffer because of this, when he come to know, he was mad. That is how this will become create horrible effect by creating sufferings and worries and disturbances. So the reaction is the formations of sex. It's not perfect. Sex organs. No change of sex. Also so, sometimes man become woman and woman become man. So you need some help from the doctors also for surgery, little bit only, just to adjust here and there, some only channels. But the formation is like that. That is also due to the effect of this sexual misconduct. Having no occasion to part with one's beloved. This is also very important. Unexpected things may happen to separate. If not death. Husband likes his wife so much, but suddenly she dies. Separation. The husband cannot tolerate it. If not, some thieves enter into the house, kill her. Separated. If not, accidentally take some poisons, or fire, burns or flood. Such separation, or due to misunderstanding or calamity or enmity, such separation never take place between husband and wife forever. They maintain their mutual understanding without separation. You know, the Buddha, during his previous birth, life after life, so many previous births, same husband and same wife. Because of their affection, love, confidence, good karma, good virtues, so many things. No separation. In the end, the Buddha wanted to keep away. That is not separation. Because after gaining his enlightenment, he come back. And enlightened her also, to see the end of worldly suffering. Therefore it is not separation. Being able to sleep soundly, it is true. If you suspect your wife, you cannot sleep nicely. If wife suspect her husband, she also cannot sleep nicely. Not only within this lifetime, hereafter also, you won't be able to sleep nicely if you commit it. If you keep away from this, you can sleep nicely. If you like, you can snore also. Being not short-tempered, hot-tempered, you can maintain your temper, your emotion, without allowing your emotion to flare up, to create very bad atmosphere, scolding, shouting at others and disturbing others. You know how to control your anger, your emotions. And you can live anywhere, in any society, without fear and without shyness. Some people are very shy. They don't like to come forward because of that weakness. It is a weakness. And some people are scared of many things. So you will be free from this unnecessary fear and shyness. Then you get the courage to come forward, to do something, to say something. Now see the benefit. 19 benefit you can experience if you can keep away from this. Yes. Next Friday, telling lies. The effects. Akāsattha ca Bhummattha Deva Naga Mahiddhika Punyam Tang Anumodittva Chirang Rakkhantu Loka Sāsanam Ittavata Chayam Hehi Sambhatam Punya Sampadam Sabbe Deva Numodantu Sabba Sampatti Siddhya Devo Asvatu Kalena Sasva Sampatti Hetu Chotito Bhavatu Loko Cha Raja Bhavatu Dhammiko Idam mo jātīnaṁ hotu srita huntu ñātayo imina punya kammena māme bāla samāgamo satāṁ samāgamo hotu yāva nibbāna pattiyā.